Oh, for sure.
Yo, let's bring in TK, who live over here at this studio. Trysta, what's happening?
Hey.
Dog, I almost fell asleep in the studio last night. I was here with you until what? I don't know, 10:30,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And then I had to be back on with NBC at 7 a.m.
So you do your NBC stuff from there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's honestly the best little gig you could get because it's really 20 minutes a day. And I could
Yeah,
work
that's not a
8
bad deal.
hours or 20 minutes. It's the same pay. So I'm all for it. Okay,
That
Ollie?
is not a bad deal.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
That is
But
not.
so yeah, I was like, should I just sleep in this podcast studio? Because boy, oh boy,
How many studios does it have in there?
they just have one podcast studio.
Mm.
So if something's really important, like for example, you okay, Ollie? For example, we had Angel McCautry on yesterday, and it came out today on Let Her Shoot. So if you want to hear
I can't
her,
wait to hear that.
she said so many good things that are like buzzworthy. I can't wait to get them all out on social. Anyway, so we had her on.
We need to
Phenomenal.
send Angel the link one day. Just be like, hey, if you're not doing anything, click this.
Just come through. Yeah, she
Yeah,
would love
that's
that.
it.
She would love that.
Should come to Sky River on Friday.
Well,
Did you guys see the beginning of the clip that I posted today where it was like we get on and she's in Atlanta? Did you see this, Casey?
yeah.
I didn't see it yet. No,
If the chatty house didn't see it, so let me set the stage. So she gets on, she's of course like any athlete, a little late. And she's in traffic, but she's in Atlanta right now at her other place. And so she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in Atlanta. So, I don't have the full studio set up." And so, okay, we'll get going. And then I hear a "Toot," and I'm like, "Angel, I know you don't have your battery getting low on the smoke detector." And she was like, "No, I don't. That's not." And I go, "Was that a shoe squeaking, or was that you with your smoke detector?" And she was like, "Nah, nah, nah." And I was like, "All right, well, listen for it. Let's listen for it." And it just like, chip. And she's like, "Oh man." So the editor had to go back throughout the interview because she was trying to go somewhere else in the house and didn't have good service. So the editor had to take out every chirp
That is
in the
hilarious.
interview. And it took them till like 3 a.m. Eastern to get all the chirping out of the alarm. Out
Are
of
you
the smoke
guys?
detector.
Are both of you guys like the first chirp? Oh, I'm getting up there to change it. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not.
I am.
No, that will drive me insane.
Yeah, yeah.
I will pull it out of the ceiling.
Yep.
Yeah, I will tune that
Changing
out
it immediately.
easily.
You'll tune it out.
I think so. When I was a kid, we lived directly across the street from a firehouse, and the first when we first moved in there, first weekend, fire truck going out all times of the night, all day long. It's like, oh, this is gonna be crazy. And then eventually I just never noticed it. And I think that's what I do for a lot of stuff in and around the house, like noise makers like that.
It's your whole life. You just tune it out.
Yeah, because people said like this, they come over and they be like, that doesn't distract you. I'm like, what doesn't distract you? The fire truck all the time. I was like, I ain't even hear it.
Well, that was like I used to live in Natomas by the airport. Like you don't hear there's a certain point where you don't hear the planes anymore. But a smoke detector is different.
And was also with the smoke detector.
I don't feel like
it's spaced out enough. Like if it was constant.
You can't be a trope, right? Like you can't that's the stereotype.
Yeah.
Probably the best possible stereotype that's associated with Black culture is that the beep goes off in every Black house. Okay? That's the stereotype. There's been many a TikTok made about it. And when that happened with Angel, I was like, oh God.
Are you
Angel,
eating a macaroon? What are you eating?
Yeah, what is that?
It's a piece of cheese.
I thought.
Oh, you're just eating a gigantic piece of cheese. Okay.
They have these snacks at the office at 2 p.m. They give you like the Baby Bell cheese. They give you the fruit strips.
They give us chips.
Like real high-end stuff.
Well, they give us chips and fruit strips too, but once they're gone, they're gone.
Bro,
That's how these are.
Poor Snack Shack. Somebody took like the despondent things that nobody ever wants to eat, and they took them. They ate them.
Despondent? That's not the right word.
Well, you're right, because it's not a person, but you get what I'm saying.
Stuff.
The food is not a person.
Bottom of the barrel. The bottom of the barrel stuff.
It's not good. They're like fruit cups, like that you used to get in school.
Yeah.
It is like cut up fruit in it, but it's obviously some sort of like syrupy substance that's keeping it alive. It's just sitting there in the refrigerator. No. Like this is strong. This is strong tuna and crackers in the vending machine level with that syrupy fruit that's in there.
That's wild. I like that T-shirt.
Thanks. I assume you're talking to me. You might be talking to Kimmy. I don't know.
No.
We appreciate it.
I like the vintage black.
Yeah, it's a cool look. They have a couple of those, and it's hard for me to find T-shirts I really like, so I kind of rolled the dice on this actively black one and got a couple of them. Like, yeah, these are fire.
They are fire.
Yeah, these hit.
I want you guys buy T-shirts really fast before we go into basketball.
Almost never. Yeah, I don't wear a lot of T-shirts. Like you see on the show, like I have them essentials joints. I have a couple of off-white joints, and now I have these, but that's really the only T-shirts I have.
Once every couple months. Gotta re-up.
Well, that one you had on Juneteenth was new.
The wife said that too. I've worn that before.
I don't think that had a very new feel to it.
I've worn that before. As a matter of fact, I took it to the cleaners.
Oh, that would explain.
Whoa! We're dry cleaning T-shirts?
Certain.
Yeah, there's certain T-shirts you should dry clean.
My polo T-shirts, no, those go in the washer. But
yeah, there's certain T-shirts you should definitely dry clean.
I feel like I just learned something.
Yeah,
it'll keep the collar intact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get it stiff. Pause.
It'll get it. Yeah. It'll what?
It'll keep it stiff. Whoop.
Whoa. It will now, and I had to learn the hard way because there was some I was like, I got this new washer. I got it. Like I can handle this. And it didn't work out that way. So I'm not doing that.
I washed one of my essentials joints and didn't dry it fast enough. So when it came out of the dryer, it didn't look good. And it was like, I just need to take it to the dry cleaner. Like, this looks terrible. And had to take it to the dry cleaner for them to fix it so I could wear it again.
I've had that happen before. I've got a lot of shirts like that. It's just a pain. Portland's got the worst dry cleaners on planet Earth. They just hose you. They're like, oh, you want to dry clean that? It'll be $17. I'm like, I'm not doing that. No, we're not.
The place I go to, it used to be $1.75 item. I think they've gone up to about $2.75, $2.50. But I could take about 6-7 shirts in there and pay $30.
Really? Yeah, that is not what my dry cleaner costs.
What does yours dry cleaner cost?
Not that.
Yeah.
More
like T-shirt, more. Like T-shirts aren't expensive. Like T-shirts maybe, but I know it ain't $1.50 or whatever you just said.
It probably ends up being about. Last time I spent about $45 to $50.
The best dry cleaning location in the United States, hands down, is Las Vegas. Las Vegas. They'll do it off strip for like $1.50, $2 a piece. I'll go in there with dirty clothes for summer league and go to the dry cleaner because it'll save me $75, $80.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'd be concerned. Like, why is it only $1?
There's a million of them. There's a million of them.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because there's so many performers, I think, in the town that need their wardrobes and stuff cleaned professionally. So I found one that had like 4.5, almost 5 stars, and that's now my spot. And they get it done in like 24 hours. So I'll put you guys up on game. If you ever go to Summer League, I'll put you up on game.
We never will.
You'll never go. You'll never have a draft pick.
Apparently we should be going this year.
Well, your boy Jake Fisher. Your boy said your boy Jake Fisher said the Kings are telling people they're moving into the first round of the draft.
Ooh.
We have no knowledge of this. We have no clue how they're doing it. But Jake was like, "Yeah, that's what they're doing." and they're telling people, which is the kiss of effing death in Sacramento.
Guaranteed it's not going to happen.
When they start telling people like it's just a surefire, well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Jake, when Indiana was up 10 going into the fourth quarter of game 4 or 4 going into game 4, I was like, should Jake Fisher get a ring from the Indiana Pacers? Because he is the reason that Nate Bjorkgren got fired and they hired Rick Carlisle. Remember that? He came out with a scathing article. He wasn't even allowed into the building for Cambridge. They wouldn't. He had to like contact, like from what I gathered, like Indiana was so upset about it. There was like kind of a drama. And so I was thinking to myself, if that was the domino that got Rick Carlisle there and then built the whole puzzle, then Jake Fisher should get a ring if they ever win a title with Rick Carlisle.
Oh, apparently Lucas should too. He drove Rick Carlisle out of Dallas.
Yeah.
They said Rick Carlisle walked to the back of the plane and said, I can't do this anymore.
I'm done. I'm out of here. I got a call today, Damien, from my agent. He said, loved our conversation today on the Heat Chick.
Really? Oh,
yes.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. He wanted to take me on as a client, or she? They?
He, she, they. He, him. I don't think there's a they, them. I think it's just a he, him. I think it's just he, him.
I don't need an agent. I don't.
No, you don't.
No one's.
You're going to stay in Sacramento in this station.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. So why would you
be perfectly happy?
Yeah, be perfectly happy.
And
we had a long conversation about this, Kenny, in Vegas. About how if I was ever, and I'd say this with the amount, like the most amount of purity of love for the Chatty House and Sacramento fans. Because I think you guys know I would do this on like my deathbed for free. That's how much I love you guys and love this show. But if I'm in Damien's shoes and we're successful, all I can think about is how more, bigger, bet, and Damien and Katie both are like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, that's all I think about is like how level. What about you, Kenny? Which one are you? Are you closer to Damien or closer to me?
Probably in between.
Yeah.
Probably in between. I mean, I like what's going on right now. I like money though.
Yep.
And money that I like, I don't know if it'll happen. I'm not talking about Odyssey. I'm just saying in Sacramento being a regional guy. So I don't know, but I got 2 kids at home too. You know what I mean? So
can't leave.
There's a thing that like I told Trysta in Vegas. She in so many ways reminds me of Kara Lawson. Like their drive is nearly identical, right? It's like they have similar think patterns where they're not thinking a step ahead, they're thinking 10 steps ahead. And one conversation that Kara and I used to have, like we had it as recently as like when we took on KSFM, was what is the price on like your lifestyle, the way that you live, like your peace of mind, and is it worth $150,000 to work 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day, 16, whatever it is, like, is that worth it versus making $70,000 and working 6 hours a day? You know what I mean? Like those are conversations I haven't had with her in years, and it's starting to show. Like, but I think you think like that too. Like, what's the cost on my family? Like, what's the cost on me? What's the cost on going to my son's baseball game, my son's basketball game, whatever?
Yeah, that's usually my. You've seen one of those memes before, and it hit home, and you think about it, right? Like where the father's always working and all this other stuff, and you got to provide. You got to make sure you're doing what you're doing for the household and doing the best you can to do it. But he's always working. And then like the son or something comes up to him and he says, "Hey, Dad, I've been saving up my money. Here's $100." He's like, "Why you give me $100?" He said, "Well, I know you're always trying to make money, and I figured if I gave you $100, you would spend this time with me because you wouldn't be losing money." And it's one of those things that get you to think like, look, like, yeah, you're trying to make every dollar you can, but don't let that take away from these moments that you can never get back. You know what I mean? That are free. Like, kid don't want nothing but your time or want you to be there or be present, and don't lose sight of that. You know what I mean? So it's a balancing act sometimes, because sometimes he's not going to be able to do the things that he likes to do with me if I'm broke. So I got to go make the money, but you don't want to lose sight of just the moments. Like Ryan just want me around the house sometimes. You know what I mean? It don't cost nothing. So I try to be mindful of that stuff.
Yeah. And I think with my mom, there's also like more balance for that now than there's probably ever been. Like, there's an opportunity I was telling Damien about offline that's they would pay a substantial amount of money but would force me to move away from Portland. So is there a way that
far away from
like
Portland?
about as far as a
humanly
flight
possible.
as about as far as a flight in the United States could be from Portland.
Yeah.
Like, no direct flights, 8.5 hours to get there. You're done. It's a wrap for you. Multiple time zones. And I'm trying to finesse him to allow me to do it remotely. Well, not finesse him. Tell him that it's mutually beneficial that we both do this way. But I also know that if they're not, I have to walk away.
Yeah.
So that's the limitation of ambition, is the love that I have for my mom.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone has that, right? There ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, you have your wife and kids, you have, your mom. It's a lot.
So I got to figure out how to get $1 million here.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like, all right, well, I got to get $1 million here.
Yep.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get a couple bucks more, considering I work a lot longer than I did a year ago. I'm in charge of shows that I've only met once. Like, what? I need to do what? Oh, man. All right. You need to start paying me as a decision.
Damien's in management now. We didn't even know.
That's what God damn it. That's what it feels like.
Corporate D-Lo.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine. You can call me whatever you want to, as long as my paycheck reflects as much.
Same.
Right now, it does not. And now I got quality of life to think about. Like, me and Katie are on completely opposite schedules. Like, she's leaving the building I'm going to while I'm leaving our home and coming here. And sometimes, if Complex wants to talk, I'm not getting home till 7. They're like, we're apart for 13 hours. She's got the girls at home. It's like,
she probably with her work schedule, by the time you get home, she's probably ready to go to bed.
It's 100% what it is. Like, plus we got the 4-year-old who's got to get on a sleep schedule. And yeah, right. Like, Katie's going to lay down with her at 8 o'clock. She's falling asleep. She's been up since 4. And yeah, it makes this upcoming summer interesting. Makes this upcoming summer interesting.
Gonna take a bunch of time off. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, who else a free agent?
Like, there's a lot of things to think about this upcoming summer here.
Kuminga. Yeah. Me, Damien, Kuminga. What we gonna do this?
Yeah. Got an opt-out deal. Opt in, opt out, whatever it is. You think the finals are over? Are you of the belief like, oh, that was it?
No, I think, what I will say is we have not a lot of knowledge about Tyrese Halliburton in this injury. I think if he looks the way that he looked last game and he's playing minutes, the same amount of minutes he played last game, where we get 0 field goals from him, then yeah, they'll probably get smacked in game 6. Unless you're getting like a huge Obi Toppin game and an Andrew Nemhard game and a Pascal game. And then also the Thunder have to go 3 for 21 from 3 and like 10 assists again. The game that they really had in hand was obviously game 4, where the Thunder couldn't have been played worse, couldn't have hit the broadside of a barn. Shea is just like lacking. And they seem befuddled and frustrated, and they melted in the sun. They let that win slip between their fingertips. And now I actually think if Oklahoma City would have lost game 4. There's still a chance they could pull a Cleveland Cavaliers with Tyrese Halliburton looking the way that he looks. But I think it's kind of tough to say, right? Because we don't really know this health aspect.
Yeah, I think we talked about it earlier. And I said last night on the news, there's 2 things that I'm definitely afraid of: robots and calf strains. And calf strains are nothing nice. I know he's going to try. I know he wants to try and all this other stuff. If I was his brother or something like that, I'd probably advise him not to play.
Yeah.
He'd be like, this isn't going to feel any better. It's not going to get any better. Calf strains are like month injuries at the least. Like, you
remember the calf strain to KD, and they were having him practice behind curtains. Me and Ramona Shelburne are literally like trying to peer between the curtains, like around the side of Oracle to see, like, is KD working out? Is he not working out? And then I'm at that game and he pops the Achilles. Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
Like you just like, even that's like the worst case scenario, right? But even just like, you're not going to be able to play good. We saw it last night. Like, you can't move. It's almost like Chris Paul in the Western Conference Finals when he messed up his groin.
Nope.
Groin.
I said groin.
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 It's
groin.
one syllable.
That's what I just said, like coin.
No, you said
it.
No.
groin. You said groin.
Groin.
You guys aren't here.
This is I'll never get over this. I don't know. This isn't a bit. He can't say the word.
It's like coin, right?
Yeah, say it.
I said groin.
But you said groin.
Groin. You guys aren't hearing me right.
No, yeah, that's right. It's all of us. We're all wrong. We're all wrong.
You're extending the "een" out more. Than
I don't know what it is, but it's just so obviously wrong.
It's just groin.
Hey,
groin.
Look at my cousin.
Boy, I got some
What the
questions.
hell?
I've got some questions.
What the hell?
Is that man's name Trent Caraway?
Trent Caraway.
Wow.
And he's Trent Caraway.
Yeah,
Whatever you're thinking
he looks
of,
exactly what you expect him to look like.
Yeah.
That was a good deflection from growing.
No. But when CP3 got hurt, as much as he wanted to play, he couldn't play. Like, he just couldn't play. And I almost feel that way about Halliburton with this calf. Like, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have him play.
The thing that's worth monitoring is Halliburton's consistent lower leg injuries, soft tissue injuries over time. Got injured in the finals, Eastern Conference Finals, against the Celtics. Now that lingered throughout all of the first half of this year. It was like, I don't think his hamstring's right. Yeah, the Pacers stink, and Halliburton stinks, but I don't think he's back. I don't think he's right. Kind of like Chet is right now with that hip, right? I don't think his hip is 100%. And now you've got the calf strain. Baby, you got a hammy, you got a calf, you got an ankle, you got an Achilles. Now you got it's just, for a guy who relies on his shifty, whatever you would call this, like slithery nature of him, or at least like finding ways without a handle to get downhill and be crafty around the rim, you have to have your mobility in check. And so that's something to keep in mind and monitor too.
Yeah, it's tough. It's game 6 of the NBA Finals. Like, I understand. The one who's ultimately going to have to make the decision, the doctors can have their opinion, barring it being something that doesn't require an opinion. Like, this is how you have to handle it. The doctors can have their opinion. Tyrese can have his opinion, but ultimately Rick Carlisle has to be the one to make the decision. And TK and I talked on the Heat Check podcast last night. We thought Rick Carlisle made a mistake when it came to that third quarter. That run was happening with TJ McConnell. Maybe he got a little too eager and went back to tie before he should have.
That was just one of the most egregious coaching errors I've seen from Rick Carlisle, considering that the only offensive spark that was being provided was because of TJ McConnell, and the defensive spark was from TJ McConnell. and was getting Pascal open looks because he was breaking down the defense. And the angles were much better, spraying out the shooters. It felt like almost he had the OKC Thunder defense in the paint frozen. I'm like, how do you not know he's going to jump stop and then float up? They were just somehow rattled by TJ McConnell, right? And unrattled by anyone else getting into the paint but him. But for whatever reason, little TJ McConnell that could was in there chugga. To take him out for all of the fourth quarter until the game is already over. Yo, the first time I see OKC making a run, we're bringing TJ back in. Clearly, you see with your own two eyes, Halliburton, only east and west, cannot go north and south at all. Can't even hit the 45 angle to get in at all. He's got to round the corner around his defender in order to get to the paint. Just insanity. You could tell he had no lift on his shot. He's tentative, won't even take open shots. Why is this man in the game right now? And now we're getting like an 11-0 OKC run when TJ McConnell had this thing cut to 2. Cut to 2! Well, I mean, it was cut to like 4 or 5, and then he went on the bench, and then the Pascal Siakam 3 cut it to 2. But either which way, this game was like right there. And I think OKC, and I was told by some of the people that were in the building last night, the crowd started to butt pucker a little bit. They started getting quiet, no more claps. They're like, oh man, it's happening again.
Yeah. That was a tough decision. I understand it. It was the wrong decision, but I understand it. Maybe Rick Carlisle's looking at it like TJ McConnell, he's giving us his best. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, have 25 tonight? Like, no, he gave us 17. Nah, I maybe would have, but I know in the moment it's like, all right, we got all we could ask out of TJ. Let's see if our guy can get back out there. I've talked to him. He said he wants to try it. He said he can go. Let's try it. Clearly, it was the wrong move though. Like, I'm not disputing that, but I understand one to give your guy. That's the franchise right there. Give him an opportunity out there. Might have cost him that game, but I get
Nembhard was buns too. It's terrible.
Yeah,
and I love it. I love Andrew Nembhard, but boy,
me too.
it was really bad, so bad. No offensive production and just horrible turnovers.
Casey brought this up earlier with or without Tyrese. Do they have to play? I thought they played really well last night. I thought Indiana overall, I thought there was a lot of things they did well. There's just one glaring thing that stood out, and it was the turnovers. Not only the amount of times they turned the ball over, but the fact that it felt, and I'm positive this isn't accurate, but
32 points off of turnovers.
It felt like they scored every single time they turned the ball over. They certainly did in the fourth quarter, which is why the game ended the way that it did. But do they have to play perfect to win a game?
They have to play perfect in terms of delivering the basketball. I don't think they have to hit every shot. I don't think they need to feel stressed at every possession they're going to live and die by. They're going to win or lose the game on. But I think you can't turn the ball over as much as they did. As much as they did in game 1, they got super lucky, fortunate that those turnovers didn't result in many points. When you get 32 points off of turnovers, it's a wrap for you. That's the game. That's the game right there.
Yeah.
And even more specifically, though, I think they got to play perfect in OKC to beat the Thunder in Oklahoma City. I think at this point you just got to play one of the best games you played all season. It can't even be just a good game. Like, you've got to be 40.
It's got to be like game 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the level that we need. But the issue is, what did we get? 30 from Tyrese or something? What did he give us
in that game? Yeah, I don't know if it was,
or was that the Knicks?
But him and Siakam. Yeah, I was going to say Siakam had a big night.
He had
Oh no, the game 3, Siakam
22. Yeah, he had 22, 9, and 11.
Mathurin was the one.
That was he had 27.
Yeah, he had 27.
That was Siakam's stat line or Tyrese's?
Tyrese's stat line, and then Siakam's in that game. So Tyrese almost had a triple-double. And then Siakam had 21, 6 and 4, 2 steals and a block. So he was showing up defensively. I think also we've actually seen some of these role players or key players in Indiana not shrink, but just become lesser versions of them. And I think maybe that's illness, maybe that's just attrition through injury. But Miles Turner has been really bad. Really bad. Had a couple of great moments yesterday, last night's game, but overall, very tentative, not shooting the ball very well. We expect him to spread the floor. If you can't spread the floor, now they can pack the paint on you. Just not very good defensively. Aaron Nesmith is clearly hampered with that ankle, has been okay, but getting into early foul trouble. So there's definitely things to clean up. And they haven't gotten a big Miles Turner game yet. They haven't gotten like a huge Andrew Nembhard game yet. Yeah.
That Miles Turner game ain't coming.
No, it's not coming.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's almost contract to me. And I know this won't because they're going to pay him regardless. It's almost like, wow, how much should we really pay Miles Turner?
I mean, can we give OKC a little bit of love for
Oh, they're excellent.
What's happening? Like
excellent.
Mhm.
But he's missing wide open threes.
Yeah, he's
missing layups. Like that's not OKC, that's him, right? Like he's not taking, and maybe they just
that's
have
like
these,
Indiana's turnovers too. That's not just OKC. That's Indiana throwing the ball all over the place.
Yes,
it is, but it's also. I'll go back to OKC a little bit too. That's they mess with you mentally, right? Like you're a little more frantic with the ball. You're a little more frantic with your shot because of the pressure that they put on you defensively. You're not as relaxed, as composed as if you're going up against the Kings defense, right? Like,
damn,
I got all day.
Wow, Kings are not bothering anyone.
I got all day. I can do what I need to do. And that also helps with shot making. That helps with taking care of the basketball. So just sometimes it's physically what OKC is doing. Sometimes it's just the mental pressure that they put on you on the defensive end that causes you to be a little bit more erratic with your shots or your passes than you normally are.
Well, and when they get into the paint, they're in prison. I mean, they're in bars, these guys. There's just bodies all around, arms all around. So you see one guy in yellow and you're like, oh my God, I need to just get it out to him like right now. And you throw it and it's a bad angle. Alex Caruso sniffs that out and now he's got an easy dunk on your ass. And now it's like even more pressure to get something going on the offensive end because you know how fast their defense can turn into offense too.
Is it just me or does Aaron Nesmith fall on the ground all the time?
All the time.
Say, how did you trip?
He didn't. He just fell. He took a bump.
Just abnormally at an abnormal rate. He's on the ground.
Been watching.
But one though that was controversial, I think tripped over Shea's foot. The one that was the push off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that was a little forearm shiver. That's what he does.
Into the travel.
At an elite level.
Something's got to be called there.
No.
Something. Travel, offensive foul.
The officials beg to differ.
I was shocked that Rick Carlisle came out and put his Superman cape on for Scott Foster.
Yeah, that was a little wild.
Wow, he really thinks that Scott Foster is doing Game 7. He must, because he is caping. He is standing for this man.
Rick Carlisle. I really like Rick Carlisle.
Uh-oh. That's the kiss of death. He's about to say something terrible.
Carlisle think he the end all be all of everything. He got to say something about everything.
Well, to be fair, remember Rick Carlisle is the president of the Coaches Association. That's why he's asked all those questions about coaches.
Was he asked about Doris Burke?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You don't have to have a take on it. But he was saying good things about Doris, so I like it. But
what would impress me is if he trashed Richard Jefferson. Like, hey, how about someone tells RJ to shut up during the goddamn broadcast?
Yo, I think I know what's going on here with RJ. He's getting so destroyed that he feels he has to do more And it's like, no, actually, we want you to do less.
You know what that is? That's the Jason Witten syndrome.
Yes.
That's what happened with Jason Witten on Monday Night Football. The internet destroyed him, and he just made it worse on himself.
The jokes
went back and he's like, you know what? I'll just die of CTE instead of dealing with the internet.
The jokes that Rich is trying to pull off with Doris, and the like puns, and the like going into break, and he's got some little quippy sort of analogy. Oh, it's just like this and this. They're doing, and I'm like, I almost texted him like, we need to calm down with all these little. He's trying to do too many jokes. And I think she's trying to do too many jokes. I think they're in cahoots. Like, we need to make this SNL.
They're probably reading their own clippings.
You know what randomly popped in my head like this morning? Remember when Drake was like flirting with Doris Burke and like
and he had the sweater.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
No, he's corny. It's like that dude is. It just made me think as I was listening to Euphoria for the 4,000th time. Like, this dude is so stupid.
It's like to beat the allegations of the young girls. He's like, I like all girls.
And that dude's hella funny, bro.
Yeah, just walking around with Doris Burke on his sweatshirt. Sit down.
That guy's
Sit
hilarious,
down.
man. He cracked me up.
Where's KD going?
Man.
You wanna name drop your boy who you were talking to last night?
Okay, so I need to know the beef. Is there beef there?
We don't like that dude at all. He's a jackass.
Who?
She's talking about Coffee Boy. So she was doing stuff with Levitard's network right after the game before we did the heat check. And during the heat check, Trysta brought up KD and mentioned that Amin had said there's a team in the Western Conference, and I told her how I felt about his opinion because it's a podcast, it's her podcast, say whatever I want. I can't say it here on the air. But Amin had some remarks about De'Aaron Fox when our show first started. I believe the line was, Ja Morant is who De'Aaron Fox thinks he is. Mm-hmm. And we hit him up like, yo, can you come on the show? Like, we're curious, like what that meant. And he wouldn't come on the show. And then I think he like doubled down on it. And then we asked again, like, yo, can you come on the show and explain what you mean? And he said, I'm busy. I was like, it's cool. We haven't given you a day or time yet. Like, we can work something out. And he was like, nah, man, I'm busy. So we took that as disrespect. And we have spent the last 5 years trashing his sorry ass.
That's how, without
and believe me, that hoe knows exactly who we are.
That was the without the crazy take, but that's how Monica McNutt did me. Yeah. I was like, hey, it's great meeting you. Do you want to come on the podcast? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm real busy. And I was like, oh, well, I could work with your schedule. Like, I can pre-tape it. Doesn't really, this is the regular season, mind you, regular season. There's nothing crazy. And I know you're traveling with the team. Whoop-de-whoop, cool. Whatever, 20 minutes. And it was like, yeah. Just get back with me and we'll see if maybe I can make something happen. I was like, I'm not chasing you around.
Next time you come here, we're going to tell you all of the excuses Mark Spears used to give us as to why he couldn't appear on the show. Now, to be clear, Mark is our guy.
Yeah, that's our dog.
That is our dude for real. But sometimes I wonder if Mark...
These ESPN folks, they kind of feel like maybe they shouldn't do this or what?
Well, the funny thing is Mark would say, I can only do the ESPN station. And it would be like, brother, I got great news for you. That's us. But I think there's this weird disconnect with our radio show and who we are in person.
Right.
Mark is our best friend in person. I don't think he knows we're the same two guys that do the radio show.
Monica asked me at the event where we were both won an award for like top woman in media. She's like, so what do you do? I was like, oh, I just like, I don't know what to say to that.
Like you host a podcast, you're on WFAN, like you're a radio personality.
But I have a hard time being like, let me encapsulate and like
you're a multimedia star.
Prove my value to another person that's a colleague, So I always just get really weird and awkward about that. I'm better with an introduction, better with a co-signer. I think.
You need a hype man.
Your boy was bugging though, man. Like the funny thing about that is, like Damian said, like he said what he said. We weren't even really tripping. Like even if we disagreed, it was like, all right, whatever. Well, bro, you said it at a quick blurb. Like, why don't you come on and just kind of explain what you mean, and we'll have a conversation. And then he did what he did. And then
do you guys think that's true now? Like, do you think it's closer to the way that things ended with De'Aaron and some of the things that you've seen?
No,
do you
I
think
think
that his point was valid or no?
No, I think they're like the same player. I've always thought they're the same player. I think Ja's a little bit more aggressive than De'Aaron Fox, and I think that's the difference between the two. But I think De'Aaron is a better defender. Like they do things, one scores better, one defends better. Like I think when you put it all together, they're about the same type of person or same type of player. One's right-handed, one's left-handed. But yeah, we were doing all that, and then I think he got really upset because I didn't even add him, but I had said something to the effect of, "Man, these people out here who can't make a left-hand layup got so much to say." And then it somehow got back to him, and he called me fake Freddie Gibbs.
Oh my God, you guys like really had internet stuff.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny. Like I thought it was all jokes because I liked the meme for the most part. Like before I got into all this, like he was fine with me. I didn't have no issue with it. I'd listen to his content or whatever. So I thought, oh, we cracking jokes. Like it's all good. So I called him, "This is America, Childish Gambino," and he got. I guess he was serious. Like he was like, "Yeah, why don't you? You still on the radio? Why don't you try to at least get on the news before you have all this stuff with you?" I was like, "All right, bro. Like it's not even that deep." And then I heard he just got
get on the news is a wild.
I didn't even at the time we were on the news. I didn't even say all that, but I was like, "Bro, it's not even that deep." I guess he got mad because we heard that he gets Steve Kerr's coffee, and that's what we call him. Coffee.
That's the shoot. Like that was his position as like. The people at ESPN didn't like him. Like, that's why I'm sure he's doing well with Le Batard and all of that. Like, you latch on to somebody, you could ride. The people at ESPN didn't like him, and they were like, his position with the Phoenix Suns was to get Steve Kerr's coffee. He was not an executive. He was not any sort of decision maker. He was the guy who took notes and handed Steve Kerr the iPad. Few remember that Steve Kerr was actually a general manager. So tell him we said hi.
Yeah,
and Terry Porter was the coach.
Yeah, we got to go.
We have to go.
You,
all of us.
Yeah, no, we really do. Well, I mean.